I like what I'm seeing. Like, there's a whole Draymond conversation at some point that I would like to get into, but watching the evolution of Jonathan Kuminga, watching Pajemski and Trace Jackson-Davis start to elevate their game, watching Klay Thompson play amazing defense last night, some of the things that he said. Bonte, this is not a lost season. I know people are ready to fold up. This is more what I think. This is the growing pains of a team in transition.
No doubt about that. We're going to get into it all here on the Warriors Wednesday, brought to you by Freedman's Appliance, a trusted name since 1922. Visit freedmansappliance.com today. Good morning to all the graveyard shift workers. We were thinking about you. All the union workers, all the truck drivers, all the garbage men. Hopefully you had a great holiday. The overnight dancers. I know y'all was making money until the rain came in. Of course, now everybody's indoors, so must be a tough time for you guys. Good morning to all the beauty drivers, the bar conductors, and everybody out there. Hopefully you had a great holiday, a very safe and happy new year, and drive safely on the roadways because it is raining and people don't know how to drive during in the rain here. So we can start Warriors. We start wherever you want to start. There wasn't much needed win. We needed that win for the soul. It's good to see Steph Curry get out of that 3-game slump. Klay Thompson had a good second half after being in foul trouble in the first half. Jonathan Kuminga gets better and better by the game. You got to let the young man just roll.
You know, the Kuminga thing, I just feel like all these think pieces on what he isn't or what he is.
I'm tired of it.
Can we just enjoy the maturation of a 21-year-old?
Highlight what he's good at.
Exactly.
What does he do?
No, he did an amazing job blowing by Paolo Banchero and then finishing. He starts with the right, like the Jordan thing, and then finishes with the left on the finger roll. He's done that on numerous occasions in the last 2 weeks.
He puts pressure on the rim better than anybody on this roster.
How about the block?
How about the block shot? He's now crashing the glass more.
Yes.
9 rebounds Saturday, 6 last night. He's a willing passer. I think he's a very good passer. If you, to be honest with you, people talk about his IQ. Look, read and react system for the young guys. How about we just adjust to the young guys at times? Let him go ISO at times. Let it go on the low block and fade away a little bit. He's got that in his arsenal, but his shot doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
His willing passing, even Clay's passing a little bit, but JK is getting better and better by the week. So all this negative talk about JK over the last 2 years, this kid can play. We saw it the first day we ever went up to Sacramento in the California Classic. Yeah. This kid has talent. A lot of GMs think he has talent. If I'm the Golden State Warriors and we're talking about making moves and dealing this guy and that guy, he's a guy I don't want to deal, Shasky. Jonathan Kuminga needs to be here for a long time.
Well, and again, I just think that we're overly critical of everything he does in both directions. Like either we're overpraising him or we're over scrutinizing him. Look, I don't love some of the things that he's saying to the media, but Bonte, this is a man speaking in his second language. I do think we need to be a little more understanding that it's very difficult speaking in your second language.
Well, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with that, I don't think, because he's been here since he was 14, 13 years old. I think his English is just fine. I love the way he speaks. He's very intelligent. He's smart. But
culturally, understanding.
But he's been in New York. Yeah, I don't know how much that has, how much value that has on him or the effect that it has on him. What he's seeing, though, this is what I do understand. He's seeing Apollo Banchero.
Yeah.
He's seeing a Franz Wagner. He's seeing his draft classmates. He's seeing his high school classmates. He mentioned it yesterday on the postgame show. Like, Banchero was in the same high school class. Wagner was in the same draft class. Those guys are getting an opportunity to play. And he's sitting there thinking, boy, I'm out of the rotation. Oh, wait, we're down 10 to Portland. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Whoa, I'm going to play now.
Yes.
You know, and all of a sudden I'm back in the rotation. Am I starting or am I not? Am I allowed to make mistakes? Why am I always looking over my shoulder getting yanked here? There's a lot of pressure on him to vibe not only with the veterans, but with the head coach of this basketball team. So I think that's what it is with Kuminga, where he's speaking his mind saying, I just want to play. If you're not going to play me, then you know what? Send me somewhere else.
Well, don't you think coinciding with the Draymond absence, which I haven't even had a chance to react to, we will get into that at some point.
Gosh.
It's not a coincidence. I don't know how other people feel. You and I were talking about it before the show this morning. I ran into a lot of people over the last couple of weeks. I had basketball games and, bringing the little guy out to SI. There was a Father Sour tournament, and we had baseball at USF, and just family that wanted to see the little guy, right, LJ. And everybody has the same, I feel like everybody's pretty much united.
Right.
We're all over Draymond. I'm over Dre. I'm ready to move on, and I've been ready to move on, and I feel like this whole situation with Nurkic and what he's done and then his defiance and then seeing how the team looks, to me, they're a more enjoyable product to watch on television without Draymond.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they can win a championship without Draymond, but quite honestly, I don't care because I don't think it's fun watching him anymore.
It's funny you said that. Big Dog City, we're at the Rose Bowl together, and he goes, B, I'm not going to lie, man. It's been tough for me to. He echoed the same sentiments. they become unwatchable. And I could feel it at the arena. I could feel it at times at Chase Center because I could feel the vibe. I know Dub Nation, been covering this team for over 10 years now. And I feel like I have a good grasp on, especially Dub fans. I have a good grasp on them. And just the way they kind of move around, the way they talk. They were excited going into the gym knowing, hey, Pajemski's starting. Hey, TJD's going to get some run. Hey, Kuminga's going to get some run. What the Giants need to do this year, the San Francisco Giants, that is, they're not going to sign nobody. They'll let the Lucianos and the Smiths play. That's what will get a fan like me, Bonte Hill, involved in the Giants. Let me just see the young kids play.
Yeah.
Let me see what I got before I make a move. That was the biggest mishandling of Joey Bart. We never got to see him play consistently to have a gauge. Same thing with Trey Lance. A lot of Trey Lance fans. Boy, we didn't really get to see it. But we moved on because you got Brock Purdy. You have a good infrastructure in place. When you get to the Golden State Warriors and you see Draymond Green doing what he's doing, on top of getting the new money, Shasky, he got the new money, $100 million. Wow. And what he said, I don't care about anything else. It's the words that he chose, the words that he used by saying, this is the most important season of my career. And so I say, okay, we'll give you that. We'll give you a chance to make up for what happened last season. And here we are, 33 games into the season, and he's missed more than half the games.
But you know what my grandma,
you know what I'm saying?
I do. And you bring up the quote. I'm glad you bring up the quote. My grandma used to say, actions speak louder than words.
Yep.
I mean, his actions are what they are, and look, everyone can have their own opinion. You say, Chasky, you're an idiot. They're never going to win anything without Draymond Green, and I understand that sentiment. I'm telling you from a watchability, likability standpoint, as someone who flips on the game and wants to be entertained and love his team and enjoy what he's watching. Right now, I'm ready to turn the page on Draymond. I've been ready to turn the page. I think a lot of people are starting to come around on that, and here's where it starts for me, B. He's exhausting. And I'm sick of the mental gymnastics people try to do to justify erroneous behavior.
Right.
And for me, I'm just done with it. And you're talking about Pajemski and Kuminga. And look, they're not going to be great every night. There was a night a couple days ago where J.K. just looked horrific. Oh,
he turned the ball over 6 times in the first half.
But
after going to the media and talking, it was like, oh, J.K., you may not want to do that again.
But you know what? Like, I'm here for watching the maturation of a 21-year-old. I am, and I want to see it. Now,
no doubt.
Now, that might come at the expense of being a championship caliber team. But I'm looking in the mirror and I'm saying, I'm not sure this is a championship caliber team with or without Draymond.
I'm with
you. Knowing that, I'm going to go process of elimination. I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm good off Dre right now.
Right.
And here's the irony is, I don't know how many other teams in the league would want him.
Well, what's interesting about that, one, I think there may be some other teams who want Draymond Green. Maybe. It has to be under the right circumstances.
You would know better than me.
But I don't know how many. It ain't much, you know, and I don't think he had much of a market in the offseason when he was a free agent. You know, and that's
for that money.
Right, for that money. And I was thinking, boy, you got $100 million, but I get what Dre means to this organization. I get what he means to this team. But when you watch the games right now, and there's a lot of people who share the same sentiments that you do, it's just fun watching them play now. It's fun watching them play because with Draymond Green, you have to have the right personnel around him because he plays in such a unique way. You know, where it's just like, it's okay if he doesn't look at the basket. It's okay if he's not shooting wide open shots because it's Draymond Green. And then everybody says, well, Steph needs Draymond. Well, I think Draymond needs Steph. I think it's a complete opposite.
Did Steph need him last night?
No, Steph did not need him last night. He hasn't needed him for most of the season.
It really bugs me when people say that.
Think about how disrespectful that is. Steph needs Draymond.
Come on.
A top 10 player of all time.
Yeah.
Who many people think may be in the top 5 category. Yes. Who knows? I don't care. Whatever, top 10. The fact that he's in the conversation is enough for me, and it's insane. But Curry needs Draymond to be an all-time great? No, I think it's the other way around. Draymond needs Curry so he can play his game, which is pass the ball and not have to shoot the basketball, even though he's been a lot more aggressive this season. And that's the sad part about Draymond. He actually was playing better on the court, but the antics take away from it.
No. This is what I would say. If you were doing the scale, they said in I think it was Egyptian mythology, they would have a scale of do your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds? And right now, the bad deeds are clearly outweighing the good deeds for me. All right, and my tolerance level is not very high for him. People can disagree. They can say, Joe, he's a legend. He should retire. I look at it this way. Look, Roger Craig, Ronnie Lott, Joe Montana, Chris Mullin. some of my favorite, Tim Lincecum, some of my favorite players of all time who were legendary players for my team didn't finish with my team. And I'm ready to turn the page on Draymond. I'm watching Trace Jackson Davis, and I don't know what Trace Jackson Davis could be. He's a speck of sand on the beach of the career of someone like Draymond Green, right? Draymond Green is minted. He's going to the Hall of Fame, whether you like it or not. Like, that's where he's going. He is a 4-time champion. But I'm having fun watching Trace Jackson Davis develop, and I don't know what he'll become. I don't think he's going to be some all-star center, but I watch this guy compete, and it's just the purity of playing hoop. That's all I want to watch.
Brandon Pajitsky.
Yes, the purity of playing hoops. And then, you know what I felt like last night? I was watching that game, and Klay Thompson had every opportunity in the first half to lose his emotions because he had some boo-boo fouls early on. He gets the third one, and he throws his hands up, and he's like, that one was on me, but it's kind of a weak foul, and I felt him. Second half, he was grinding offensively and defensively. He hit a big three, which Kuminga made a really nice pass on. And I thought he played excellent basketball defensively, and it felt like one of those seminal moments where we could turn the page on the negative Klay stuff over the last couple of weeks, and I want to build on what I saw in that second half.
And it wasn't even the last couple of weeks with Klay, and he goes 5-9 in that second half.
It was a couple games.
12 points, but he had the 3-game stretch, and I cited the numbers where he averaged 9 points a game, and everybody was ready to get back on Klay Thompson, where he shot in the mid-20s from the floor and from the three-point line. I get it, 3 games, but the 16 games prior to that, Klay Thompson was on an absolute heater.
Yes.
And the spacing and the pacing that he gets to play with. I think that's the one thing when it comes to Draymond. Off the court and all the stuff, and I know people are going to go crazy because he was at LeBron James' birthday party. Now, I don't know how suspensions work, but for me, the optics just didn't look good. You're suspended, and you're partying with our biggest rival in the league, LeBron James down in L.A. It's the optics of it. It doesn't look good. Now, you could go do what you want to do. I'm not going to make a big deal about it if the Warriors are not.
It isn't
but
a
the
good
optics.
Look. You're right.
The optics don't look good. But just from a basketball standpoint, which is why when Klay was struggling and we were fighting back and forth about Klay, from a basketball sense, I was trying to look at it from a basketball sense. The spacing on the floor. When you have Looney and Draymond there in the front court and Wiggins can't buy a basket from the perimeter, the spacing is going to be compromised for a guy who's a catch-and-shoot dude.
Yes.
And Klay Thompson. And we already know his handles are not the best. I'm putting that lightly. He needs space. He needs pacing. So what happens? A young guy like Kuminga, a young guy like Pajitsky, they add life to your NBA career. Why? Because they could break down the defense. They could dribble, drive, penetrate. And so if you do want to let go Kuminga go one-on-one, he can get to the rim and finish over anybody in this league. He's shown that. He's proven that. Pajitsky gets in the lane, 2 feet in the lane, always looks, he's in the triple threat position. Look at the score, look at the pass. So now to set the spacing for Klay and Steph. It's no secret why they went on a heater there in December, because the spacing and the pacing. So from a basketball standpoint, I don't know how well Klay can function with the Draymond Green in the lineup, especially if you got Kevon Looney in the starting lineup. I just don't think it works well now.
Bonte, it just feels like to me, if we were looking at the photo in Back to the Future where things are starting to evaporate because the future's murky, and then things start to get more clarity, and it comes through crystal clear. February 8th. Is the trade deadline.
Yeah, it's going to be a very important one.
Boy, it feels like to me. And I'm just, if you're asking me today, some combination, either an individual trade or a 3-team trade or some package of trades. Moody, the Pumpkin Man, and Andrew Wiggins.
Why you call him the Pumpkin Man?
We'll get into that in a second.
Oh,
and Draymond Green. I think we got to make a move.
Right.
I think the Warriors got to make a move.
And people could think we're hating on Draymond Green. It is what it is. I love Draymond Green. He's embraced his community. When you're out, Nate Ford called in. You know Nate Ford from the San Francisco Rebels. Nate Ford's tapped into the community. He called in, and he said, look, man, I love Draymond Green for what he's done for this community. But as a citizen of this community, as a guy who's run the Boys and Girls Club and mentoring these kids, I'm disappointed at Draymond Green. And that's a lot of people that I know. So we'll continue this conversation on the other side.
It's good to be back. Man too.
Yeah, I want to hear the Pumpkin Man. But look, we're not hating on Draymond Green, but it was the most important season of his career, and he's missed more than half the games. And he's just got a $100 million contract. So accountability matters here.